Welcome back. Your dreams.
Welcome back, Cotter. Wasn't that a great show? The Sweat Hogs. Rorschach was your favorite? It was an awesome program, and let's face it, school has provided some great comedy material, both for television and for the movies. Let's go back to Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Have any teachers ever been in this kind of position, leading the discussion, and children are totally checked out? Take a look.
Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the, anyone? The Great Depression, passed the, anyone? A tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which anyone raised or lowered, raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone? Anyone know the effects? It did not
how do you make the Hart Smotley Act, or whatever the heck he was saying? How do you make the Townsend Act interesting? Adriana, you're a social studies teacher, right? I love social studies as a kid, but I mean, there's some, like, you know, obscure governmental treaties that were very hard to find interesting as a kid. How do you make them interesting?
I'm a middle school teacher, so I find various ways to kind of just engage them. I usually do a lot of role plays, or they do songs, and they find ways to remember it.
Really? Yeah. Something that rhymes with NAFTA. And just get into it. Make a little rap. All right, Adrian, that's very creative. We like that. By the way, everybody, it's not just lectures and comics. We've had a pretty good show so far, but we've got food in a little bit. We've got peanut butter and jelly. You're going to have to get up and do it cafeteria style, okay? Just like the students, if you don't mind. All right, back to those children that we saw a little while ago. Kids with their mouths open, blowing bubbles in the middle of the class. Such bad manners. Oh, boy. Well, we have a manners expert with us. Her name is Suzanne Wind. She is a mother, and she actually has a book called The SMART Playbook, Game-Changing Life Skills for a Modern World. It's a series of books, actually. Suzanne Wind, welcome to Good Day New York. Nice to see you. So teachers are sometimes dealing with kids who have not learned manners at home. How can we fix that?
SMART Playbook. The reason I wrote this book, I have 3 children, and teaching your kids social skills and manners is really something, the onus is on us as parents, but it's hard to do. It's really hard. We face so many different challenges. First thing is technology. Our kids today are on screens as much as 7 to 9 hours a day. That's a lot. So that leaves very little time for face-to-face communication. There's also lots of academic pressure, so we're so focused on getting them into that right school, and what gets lost is social skills and manners. And we really need to find ways to bring them back to basics, and that's what this book is about.
To any teacher here, when do kids start getting with it in terms of manners, or are they just, are they punks all the way up until the very end? Does anybody have an opinion on that? When do kids really start to kind of mature into little adults? When does that happen? 8th grade, 7th grade, earlier? Tara?
First grade.
First grade?
Well, yeah, if you teach them.
If you teach them well.
If you teach them well.
Are any of you frustrated that these kids haven't learned the manners at home? That they really? Yes, Celia, you nodded your head right away.
We try to reinforce it in school as much as possible, but we're only with them 6 hours a day, that it has to be continued at home.
Real quick, Alan, do you ever find kids, you know, are you ever frustrated that there are basic things that kids are doing in school that they should have been taught somewhere else?
Yes, just small things, as though, like, you know, you wouldn't throw something on the floor as like a piece of paper on the floor and wouldn't throw it in your own home. Right. So why would you do that at school if you wouldn't do it at your own home? Okay, so Suzanne, we know the problem. Oh, I'm sorry, we have one more back there. Sandy has something to say. If we could hand the microphone over to Sandy. Hi, Sandy.
Hi. At the beginning, what I do with my students, and as I hand out their rules, I do hand them all out, and if not one person says thank you, and I stand in front of the room and I tell them, you know what, your parents have taught you manners, and you know what, I'm teaching you manners too. So therefore, whenever I hand something to them, I make them say thank you.
You mean business.
I do.
Sandy, thank you very much. All right, so Suzanne, we know a little bit of the problem. How would you go about fixing any of what we just heard?
Well, I think all parents have to realize it has to start at home, and it doesn't have to be so overwhelming. Make it fun. That's the whole idea behind the SMART Playbook, was a way to involve your kids. It's a book I wrote with my 3 children. There's a lot of games and challenges, and it's a way of involving the kids so it doesn't become boring.
Okay, you gave me a little assignment. I'm very curious how it fits into manners and how it makes a kid better, but you asked for a self-portrait.
Yes.
Okay.
It's an example of one of the games. The book is all about gamification.
Okay,
So
would you like to see mine?
Well, here it is. What we want to do
Yeah.
is have you show me the little portrait, and then
Okay.
I need to come up with a compliment.
All right.
Even if I don't like it. The idea of teaching kids, see the positive.
Well, this is how
Okay.
this is like my school. This is my classroom. This is often how I feel in this classroom. Let's go ahead and take a look. We can all. There's Rosanna. Okay. And me.
Well,
Try that one.
Okay. Well,
I'm just teasing.
I really like what you did here with
Rosanna's
Rosanna.
pretty. That's supposed to be pretty.
She's very pretty, and you look like you're happy to be next to her. That's what I see.
That's a very positive spin.
Exactly.
All
I
right,
have to
thank you
find the
very much for
positive.
indulging me. Now, I understand you have a little sketch, right? Did you do one?
I did do a sketch. Now, my kids are going to get a kick out of this one because I'm a terrible drawer. So go ahead. Please give me a compliment. This is me.
Okay, let's take a good look at Suzanne and try to find something nice to say about that stick figure.
The very beautiful stick figure.
I like that. I like your. I like that you put an exclamation point after hi, because that shows enthusiasm.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Very nice.
So where do we
very
go
nice.
with this? What happens
Okay.
next?
So we're going to play one more little game that's in the book, and it's
Okay.
about eye contact.
Cool.
To me today, kids need to look up from their computers or their screens and have eye contact. So it's called the RICA Challenge.
Eye
And-
contact kind of freaks people out sometimes. You can hold it too long, too,
And
right?
I say the RICA Challenge, and I say, why RICA Challenge? Because it means respect, interest, you care about what they're saying, and you appreciate it. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to tell a little story, make something up, okay, and you're going to tell it 3 ways.
3 ways.
3 ways. The
All right.
first way, great eye contact.
No, unfortunately, we're out of time.
Oh, we're out of time.
Sorry. Oh, but I will get to tell you this one little trick. If
Okay.
making eye contact freaks you out, look at the person's lips, right? You look at their mouth. They can't tell you're looking at the lips. They can't tell. It looks the same. It's like a millimeter apart, right? So I don't know if that's going to be your next book, but it's a little...
Really?
Listen,
Okay,
I
that's
want to know, where can we buy the SMART Playbook?
Amazon.com, thesmartplaybook.com, which is my website, and we are also rolling out with Parent Teacher Stores USA, which is online and in different states.
Beautiful. Suzanne Wind, thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Let's hear it for Suzanne.
Thanks for having me.
All right. You guys hungry? We got peanut butter and jelly and apples.